Okay, so the health, right? Basically what we're going to be doing, if you look up here in the top left, we're going to be doing a health, whereas it follows us along the way. See how it's going with us? And then if I bump into something, well, into the wall in this scenario here, whoa, it just goes away, goes away, goes away, okay? And I just wanted to do kind of this health bar. We could do numbers or points or anything like that, but I wanted to do the health bar to set up the variables, to set up how to do it so we understand it. Then you see here what I have when it went all the way down to 0, it reset the layout, and here I am, okay? So that's what we're going to do is a health bar. So we're going to go to our level 4, and everything is fine here, right? What we have to do is create that little instance of the meter, yeah? So I'm just going to go and do a new object, and I want it to be tiled because I want it to build and be able to kind of um, grow and shrink, right? But I want it to be really small. Again, not really small, but the right size. And I do want it to be green here, so I'm good with that. I think I want it to be a different green, like a lighter green. Yeah. And there we go. I like to make it seem like it sells, like, so I'm going to go ahead and delete some of this. Okay. And there you go. See how it kind of looks like cells there? But now I have to change the size. So I'm going to do 16 by 16 because that's how we made it. And I'm going to put it up there, right above this cloud. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put that background on there. You see in the level 3 here how it has that white. That way the user can actually see how it's going down. And I just have that in here. I think it's called, what did I call it? What did I call it? Health background. Health background, there it is. And I'm just going to put it on here. I'm going to zoom in so I can actually see what I'm doing. I'm going to bring this guy to the front, or excuse me, to the top, I guess they call it. And I'll put this right about there. See? That looks nice, huh? Now, aesthetically, we're okay. There's not much more we have to do on the stage. Everything is going to be controlled through variables, right? And the interactions of variables. So that's where we have to start creating some instance variables. Now, the instance variable that I'm going to put on here is going to be a width, right? So I'm just going to go on here and say max underscore width. And I want it to be, well, I'm just going to pick 200 because that's what I did in the other one. So I'm going to say OK. And you can see over here that everything is fine. So max width, I could change this if I wanted. Everything's right here in my properties. Not much to worry about, but it's done so. But now when I preview it, nothing happens, right? Still there, still small, empty, not much going on. So that's where I have to go to my events, and via what we got going on here, so this is going to be an interaction. I'm going to do a system event. I'm going to say on layout start like we do, and I want to set the width. So my action is going to be setting the width of health. Ow, I didn't name it, did I? So tile background 8. I want to go ahead and set that, set the width to the max width variable that I did. So I don't want to do 200 because if I change it, it's going to get weird. So I want to have it to be adjustable, right? I also don't want to change it, and this is a perfect example. You could name it the instance name. Like this is called tile background 8. I could say, and watch, I'll show you, tile background 8 right there. But of course, we know that I'm going to change the name of this to say health, so I can't do that. The best thing to do is use what's called self. And since I have it associated on the tile background 8, all I have to do is say self and then say max width. Which is cool because now I can come up here and call this health, health 2. And you see how it automatically changed that. And now I don't have to mess around with it because it says self. So now we're good. So now when I go to preview this, see how it filled right up? But then off I go here. Mush is on his way. Hey! My health didn't come with me. So to do that, This is where layers comes in really nicely. You come over here, right click and add a layer at the top. And I'm going to call it health just to easily differentiate here. So health. And then I'm going to go back to my layer and I'm going to select both of these. Whoa. Guess I shouldn't have done that. Select both of these. Am I selecting both? You got them both? Let's just see. And I'm going to say health. And then let's just double check. Okay, good. So now I have them both on this health layer. And that's not going to do much either because the way these things are set up is as the parallax. And the parallax means it's just going to follow, right? It's just going to keep going, 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 going. So I want to set that parallax here. You can see in my properties, I want to set that to 0. Because right now it's set to 100, meaning it's going to follow me 100% of the time. Excuse me, it's going to be 100% of the capacity of the scale rate. But I want it set to 0. And by setting that parallax to 0, basically meaning there is no parallax, here is my energy, health, off I go. Now you can see it follows me, right? So we are good there. Now, next is when we have to start dealing with the variables of getting, if there's going to be an interaction here with the mush man and something, right? So when I click on mush, I need to do some instance variables, and I think I already did here. Oh, darn it. Well, I'm going to delete them just so you can see me do it. You want to do, the first one that you want to do is called max health. And we're going to set max health to 200, as you know, because that's our max width of our health to meter. So if we set the health to 200, that means the most I can get is 200. So that's okay. But we also need to do current health, right? Woo, spell it right. And current health, I'm going to set at 200 as well, but that will be the one that we're going to be kind of chipping away at, so this health meter goes down, okay? So we got the max health and we got the current health. And believe it or not, that's really all that we need, because now I'm going to come up here to this level 4. We're going to come here. This is going to be an interaction. And it's going to be another system one, but it's not going to be on start of layout because I want it to keep checking, keep checking, keep checking, keep checking, right? So I'm going to go to add an event, and I'm going to do system. And there's one here. Do you see how the ones that they have right away highlighted is every tick? I don't like using that one. I don't know why. I don't have a justification for not liking to use it. The one that I like to use better, and because it coincides with what I'm going to do later, is this every X seconds. And I'm going to set that to 0.8. So basically, every 0.8 seconds, I want an algorithm to run. And that algorithm is basically going to be checking what is my current health, what is my max health, in turn, what is the health max width. Okay, so that means I jump in here, and I'm going to go to health 2. And I'm going to say set width. And that width is going to be this following algorithm that you should use. Okay, so I'm going to say, what did I call it? Health 2. So the first thing is I got to get health 2. And I'm going to say dot max width. So we're calling to this one first because we're saying this is what the number you want to start with, so we can visually see it go up and down. And I want to divide that by the player's max health and multiply that then by the player's current health. But my player is mush L4. And I'm going to say dot max health. There we go. And I'm going to multiply that, so that's the asterisk, by mush L4. And I'm going to say current. So dot current. And these are just the variables that I made, remember, so we don't have to worry about it. Everything that we did is in red. Max width we did, max health we did, and current health we did. And all we're doing is putting it together in this little algorithm here, which, if you want to, I don't know, this just works. So it's saying takes the math and do this and whatever. So just write this down and you know that it's going to work. So there we go. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Okay? So now when I preview this, nothing terrible happens, right? It's exciting. Fact of the matter is, I don't have any collision, or I don't have any instance happening, whereas mush might lose some points, right? And that's what I need to do next. And what I did is, so if I go to my object layer, do I have that open? Yeah, I do. Okay. I made a raindrop, right? Just a little pixelated raindrop thing. I didn't put any animation on it or anything. It's just going to fall. And that raindrop has a behavior of bullet, which I presume you would figure out, and solid. And I want it to be solid because it's going to be colliding with mush, right? And I could do all the other things to it, like a particle and make it splash, but we're running out of events here. And the other thing is when I go to my bullet, I changed the gravity to, I think yours would be 800. I mean, excuse me, 0, but I had changed mine to 800. You can do whatever you want there, and I think I adjusted the speed. The other thing that I did is because I want that to fall straight down, I had to unclick set angle, because when this was checked, it kind of fell down on its side. I want it to be unchecked so it just falls straight down as is, okay? So literally all I did, just like we did with the bomb and the particle earlier, is I just made it here on this object so I could call to it later, all right? So going back to level 4, I don't even need to put an instance of the object here. I am just going to go to my event sheet here, and like I said, I'm going to reuse this one. So I want a raindrop to appear every 0.8 seconds, just randomly on stage and fall, right? So I have this part of it done. I can just use this then. So for every 0.8 seconds, I'm going to say add object. I'm going to say system, and it's going to be create object. There it is, highlighted in yellow, create object. They're going to ask me what object, and of course I'm going to do my raindrop. Okay, got the raindrop. And I want to keep it on layer 0. I do not want to put it on that health one because I took the parallax off. I want it to be, my X here is, like I said, I want it to be random. Random. And I want it to be, what do I want it to be? Window, right? Window width. I want it to be, so I want it to go left to right. So I'm going to say window width. And then I don't want it to just kind of like have some sort of pattern. So I'm going to say plus 300, or excuse me, 100. So that way it's just going to randomly put things with a plus or minus 100 on it here, right? So that should work. There's Bush. Whoa, look out, Bush. There you can see things are just kind of being created and randomly falling down, and it goes all the way throughout. So I can, hey, I can just keep going here, and it's just going to keep raining, keep raining, keep raining. All the way through, every 0.8 seconds. Hey. Oh, I guess I'm just not randomly getting into it here. And there we go. So, now what I need to do is create that collision, right? So everything's good to this point, but now we need to create that collision where we're actually going to lose some points. And I'm going to go ahead and do that up here on mush. So I'm going to say add event to mush. What I'm going to say is mush L4, so he's my guy, on collision with another object. And the other object that I want is my raindrop. And I'm going to say done. So now when mush collides with that, I'm simply going to go ahead and say mush subtract from, and then you can see what it's either max health or current health, but I want current health because max health doesn't change, current health will change. And I'm going to say 10. So every time that he gets hit with a raindrop, current health will go down, right? So meaning it's going to come down here and affect this. So let's go ahead and see what happens. Oh! And as you can see, my health went down. I'll just sit here and wait. Goodness gracious, come on. I mean, you saw that it worked because my health went down here a little bit. But maybe you'll want to do something that's a little bit more obvious. Oh, there we go, I got knocked and my health went down. So there you have it. That is pretty much how you do a health bar. And please do the health bar for now, and then if you want to do numbers or something like that later, we can. Thank you much.